Hi, my name is Tim and I've been living in Australia probably about 44 years now. Been done a lot of endurance trip on my lifetime, paddling sea kayaks 3,000 kilometers on the wild east coast, walking to Cape York from Cairns Staple and over 1,000 kilometer walk, cycling, kayaking, doing all kind of endurance trip. I built a sailing vessel, 37-footer sailing vessel, and we sailed around the world with my wife and one daughter. It was a pretty hairy trip. We went through the Red Sea, and after 5 years, we came back to Australia, and we've been sailing around the world. I built a miniature Viking vessel in Nhulunbuy, which is part of the Arnhem Land. Used the vessel, it was 1/3 of the size of the Kokstad ship, Norwegian Kokstad ship. Miniature Viking vessel. I used the vessel to sailing and exploring the wild coastline in Arnhem and Elko Island. Later on, I transported into the Gulf of Carpentaria and used the vessel in there for 4.5 months, just exploring, hunting my food with the spear, like my ancestors used to done it, and like Aboriginals doing it now even. Yeah, I've been done a lot of things, and I got 160 hours high definition document film made on my journeys, and I'm interested in somebody to building business, marketing and editing and building business with me with my films, and also maybe later on get somebody interested to do a filming with me and my grandson and my daughters. So that's what I've been doing on this wild country, and I believe there is a lot of material which can be used to make a real good document. So please welcome to do that, and throw me a line, phone me or contact me to the internet site or YouTube or whatever, and we can get together and talk about it. Thank you. Harbour in there, and it's sailing with the full sail, and it was moving. I had all my fittings and carved and made like original. That's my daughter sailing with the iceberg, and that's one of the fish with Spirit crossing the Atlantic. That's a quite an unusual photo, and all the movement of the boat is clearly to see in that photograph as well. And that's me and my daughter on the night island on the way to Europe, in Australian North Coast. And very strong memories for me for that place, because one big crocodile nearly got me on that island later on with my kayak. But yeah, that was a good times, good memories. And that's my daughter in there on Gibraltar with the Gibraltar monkeys. That's quite a good photo actually. Yeah, memories of the time long gone, but the memory is still there. That's my daughter and me when we building the iceberg ready for the round the world trip. And Nina's little friend Ricky, which went everywhere where she went when she was traveling around. And yeah, they were very good friends. And there is an unusual one. It's a photograph of some of my gemstone I've been found on the desert. Actual fact, there's quite a lot of money on that table, and I won't put any figure on it because people might not believe me, but some of the big ones, one in the middle on raw stones, which is totally clear, and look at the size of it. I was told by my mother when I was a little boy, I was what adventurous little boy already then, and often my journeys started in, they hardly found me when I went out on the bush and all that, and I haven't changed. I'm still same little kid, and I hope I never grow. I hope I never grow up. Hope that I lose a lot of fun otherwise. But yeah. You can see the face that that guy is ready to take on to the world. I think my mom wants to get even with me to sending me this photo. But look at it, it's this typical Scandinavian kid in there. That is a photo of my Viking boat in Elko Island when I landed in there. It's one of the islands on the Arnhem Land, Aboriginal island, and it's a quite a unique area, and that And that was end of one of the very, very long and hard journey. And there's one of my famous photo of the little Aboriginal boy with the, with the little kangaroo. And yeah, what a beautiful photo that is. Look at the little kid's face. It's just full of happiness and a very, very healthy looking kid. That's I'm relaxing on one of the rivers on my over 1,000-kilometer walk to most northern part of Australia, Cape York. And well, looking very, very skinny already there. It's been a long, arduous journey, but yeah, I did make it, and I was the oldest one to ever done that, packing 60 kilos behind me on the trolley. This is one of my wood carving. We often do them on the time when I'm traveling and just sort of relaxing, and it's a kind of meditation for me. I've been done a lot of artworks on my journeys. That's a beautiful piece of timber coming out of the old shipwreck, Baltic pine, I believe it is. And there's one of the little animals I carved in the side of my table, and it's a bit unusual little fellow, and you got the movement in there. Like it's probably a bit hard to realize straight away, but it was actually climbing under the table on this thing. Yeah, it's something different. And this is the face of the Neptune I carved onto the timbers holding up my table. On the back of the table, you can hopefully you can see this. This like a flowers I made it out of all coral in there. They make sort of nice contrast on the black timber. And there's a head of the wolf. There's a head of the wolf in there, which I carved as well. There's the whole drifting wood holding up the table all the way through there. And there's a handmade Finnish knife hanging in the side, which is always there if I need it. So it's all custom in Finland. All the fishermen and farmers and the people carry a knife on the sheath knife on their side. Goes back probably thousands of years. And there's a table I built onto the boat. And that was my mine meals on the wilderness in there on the Cape York and the Gulf of Carpentaria. I often get the small sharks on the shallows, and quite a good eating actually. I had two different species which I used for hunting, and this fellow I caught him right onto the head, and I eat a couple of days of this little fellow. It's a nice sort of fish when it's a small size. And there is one of my carving on the wall here on my boat now. The carving been done on the previous boat on the Gulf of Carpentaria, but and it's kind of represent the Scandinavian troll and all the mythological beliefs of what the people had on the early days, and that yeah, it's just something different. I always making something different on this thing. And there's my another carving in there on the wall. I love drifting wood, and I often pick up the drifting wood on my travels and carve them later on. And yeah, it's just some of the things which I really enjoy to it. But yeah, totally different, but yeah, just me. And there's a carving of my wolf here on the wall of the boat. Well, it's actually beautiful timber, and I've done a reasonably good job, I believe, doing it.